hidden secret of Psalm 22 verse 6, a prophetic picture of the cross. Psalm 22 is one of those passages that feels raw and honest. When you first read it, it sounds like the cry of someone who is completely broken. But if you slow down and really sit with it, something deeper begins to appear. It's not just about suffering, it's pointing to something far greater. One line, especially, can feel confusing. But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. Psalm 22 verse 6. Why would anyone say that? Why a worm? And how does this connect to Christ? Let's walk through it. First, David's pain was real. This psalm was written by King David during a time when he felt crushed. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. He felt rejected, looked down on, almost erased as a person. So when he says, I am a worm and not a man, he's not trying to be poetic for the sake of it. He's expressing how low he feels, like he's nothing, like people don't even see him as human anymore. In that culture, a worm wasn't just small, it was something people stepped on without thinking. That's how David felt. Second, but this psalm goes beyond David. Here's where it gets interesting. Psalm 22 doesn't stay only in David's life. It reaches forward. In fact, the very first line, my God, why have you forsaken me?" is something Jesus Christ himself says on the cross. And when you read the rest of the psalm, you start noticing details that match the crucifixion. People mocking, public humiliation, physical suffering. It's hard to ignore. This isn't just David's story anymore. It's pointing to Christ. Third, the word worm isn't random. Now here's a detail many people miss. The Hebrew word used for worm is Tola, and it doesn't just mean any worm. It refers to a specific kind, often called the crimson worm, and its life cycle is honestly surprising. This worm attaches itself to a tree and stays there. It can't move. It lays its eggs there, and then, in the process of giving life, the mother dies. As it dies, it releases a deep red substance, almost like a stain, that covers both the wood and its offspring. For a few days, it remains red. Then eventually, it turns white and falls away. Strange, but also a meaningful. Fourth, a picture you can't ignore. When you place that image next to the cross, it becomes hard to dismiss. Jesus Christ was also lifted up on a tree. He remained there. He gave his life, and his blood was poured out, not just as a sign of suffering, but for a purpose, to cover, to cleanse, to bring life. Isaiah puts it beautifully. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow, red to white. That connection isn't just poetic, it points to redemption. Fifth, the depth of humility. There's something else here that's easy to miss. Calling the Messiah a worm shows just how low Christ was willing to go. Not forced, not defeated, but willingly. He was mocked, rejected, treated as nothing. And yet this was the plan. Not weakness, but intentional sacrifice. Sixth, what this means for us. So what do we take from this? Psalm 22 verse 6 reminds us of something we often forget. God's way doesn't always look powerful at first. Sometimes it looks like weakness, like loss, like suffering. But in God's hands, that's where salvation begins. Through suffering came redemption. Through humility came glory. Through death came life. Conclusion. I am a worm and not a man might sound like a small, strange phrase, but it carries weight, speaks of pain, points to prophecy, and it reveals the heart of the cross. What looks insignificant turns out to be deeply powerful. Final reflection. The worm in Psalm 22 verse 6 is not a picture of defeat. It's a picture of sacrifice, of love, of redemption, and because of that, we are made new.